Hello there, Virgo, and welcome to your November reading. It's really great to see you again. I hope that this month is getting off to a great start, and I hope you're looking forward to tapping into the energy of November because there's a lot of potential that's associated with it. Before we get too deep into the forecast, I just want to remind you that you can always use these monthlies for your sun, your rising, and also for your moon sign. So let's get into your channeled information. As I was meditating on your sign, there were two words that came to mind. The first was restore, and the second was repair. And there are a few areas of your life where I think you'll really benefit from doing those two activities or assigning those two words. The first and probably the most obvious is taking care of yourself. So if there's anything in your body that you're feeling like it's kind of out of sorts, maybe you haven't been eating well, or you're not feeling as fit or as healthy as you should, then this is a great time to work with a nutritionist or work with a health specialist and decide to find the right method that you can approach these issues. The other thing is, if there's any sort of a surgery, maybe an elective surgery that you've been thinking about, maybe it's because of an old injury in your hip or knee or somewhere else, this is also a good time to look into those sorts of things. Now, I think the deeper and probably the more important place where you can kind of put the repair and restore idea is in relationships. And I think that's really why it came through to me in the meditation, and that was where the stronger feeling came. The type of relationships in particular that you want to be focusing on this month are the ones that you might put under the umbrella of estrangement or separation, or feeling a sense of frustration, friction in. And you'll know best what these are. A lot of times you want to sort of just like completely write these people out of your lives, and you think on some levels that you are, but under the surface there's still an etheric cord and an etheric attachment, and that's really what we want to talk about this month. For these situations, this is a powerful month to really reclaim your energy, because one thing that I don't think is always clear when you have negative feelings towards someone, whether it's slight negativity, animosity, feeling like you're estranged from someone, or again, hatred, you're actually giving a little bit of your power away with that emotion, thinking, I don't like you, or I hate you, or this sort of like tension. You can even feel it building up. So what you can do is really focus on meditation. This doesn't even need to involve the other person. The act of forgiveness starts here and here. And if you want to share that feeling of healing, of forgiveness, then that's fabulous, but you don't have to. Just the absolute act of letting go will in fact heal them and you get your power back. And it also frees them, because they also feel the burden of your anger, your frustration, you holding on. So it will allow them to eventually forgive you without any words being said. And if they choose to hold on to their anger, hatred, or fear of you, or whatever it is, then that's just them giving up their power and their energy, but you don't have to do it anymore. So forgiveness actually is healing and empowering for you, and it's also healing for the other person. And I would also say it allows for them to empower themselves. So it may take time, and you could slowly walk yourself into it. Sometimes it takes years or decades to forgive, but once you've done it, you start to realize that whoever you've been putting in this position, it's almost like a reverse pedestal, but whether you're blaming them or you're putting them up on a pedestal and they fell, you realize they're just a person, and they may have had ill intent towards you, but you're stronger than that, and you don't have to keep reacting to it. And that's your gift this month, is to love yourself, love your energy more than giving it to someone else, not having to give someone who's not deserving or appreciative of your energy anymore. But you have to do it in a way that is truly forgiving. So forgive yourself for getting into the situation, and simply think, this isn't worth my time and energy anymore. Eventually you can get to the point where you might be grateful to that person as well for showing you that that you had either an opportunity to grow, or that they were somehow able to get in through one of your cracks, and then you can then heal that part of your etheric shell so that it won't happen again in the future. Okay, let's now take a look at the cards and see what additional energy and information comes through. For those of you that are new Just a reminder that I pull a Celtic cross, and I also use a card called a catalyst, and this really gives me a nice feel for what opportunities are coming through during the month. And then I take a look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. We'll look at all of that in just a moment. All right. Your catalyst this month is really what we just ended on there in the channeled information. The Five of Cups is a reminder that you can either cling to what was or what could be. And for some of you, what could be is going to be stronger than any sort of difficulties you might have gone through. Sometimes the pain or the disappointment outweighs the potential. And so you and only you can kind of decide if, for instance, in a relationship, if there's enough positive for you to continue moving forward. And the other thing is, you know, in a lot of decks, this is a mourning card. Sometimes people leave our lives and you don't get to say everything that you want to, but you're still holding on to some anger, some frustration, some of those things that we talked about just a moment ago. And if these things are still a part of your life, you can still have a conversation with someone who's passed. Trust me, the energy exists and it receives your healing and your frustration and everything. So you can still connect with that person that you love and work it out, even though they're not here in the flesh, alive anymore. So for those of you that are experiencing that sense of frustration, which either I wish I said I love you, or, you know, the last thing we did was argue, or you still feel angry because they left things sort of a mess, maybe even someone who ended their life unexpectedly. Whatever it is, it's natural to have these feelings, these conflicting feelings. So spend some time working through your, maybe some relationships with people that are in spirit and sending thoughts of healing and release to them, okay? One last note with this is to not focus too much on negativity this month. So whether it's how you're consuming things, maybe too much reading of the news or media, or listening too much to people around you that might have a lot of critical thoughts or feedback. Try to tone it down a little bit this month and take care of yourself. Remember, repairing, not so much focusing on the negativity. As we're looking at the center here, really what I'm seeing here is for you to step away from a feeling of anxiety. And if there's anything in your life that you want to have more clarity over, this could be feeling like you don't know what's happening at work, or maybe if you're a parent, you're feeling disconnected from your child. Spend some time and try to unravel some of the walls that you've put up, or some of the barricades that you're experiencing with these people in your life. It's going to take work on your part, and you might have to be the one that actually makes the first effort or takes the first step towards reparation. Your intuition has been firing quite a bit over the past month or two. Pay attention. It's very sound and it's giving you good advice. Don't second guess yourself. For some of you, this can also indicate a person in your life that could be meddling a little bit. And if that's the case, this might be a time for you to walk away from that. As far as your health goes, I want you to take care of your heart health this month. That includes stress reduction. For those of you that are naturally healthy and not feeling like you have like a family history of heart disease or cholesterol or blood pressure, then this is really about you taking care of yourself and reducing stress, getting enough sleep, making sure that you're exercising. It can mean for some of you that there's a breakup that needs to happen, whether it's a love relationship or a friendship. What I'm seeing happening with this is there's an opportunity for truth to come out, and one person or the other has been holding on potentially for the wrong reasons. So whenever I see the Three of Swords and the Devil card, what they're really telling me is this is not a mutually beneficial experience. So one or both of you need to be more honest with the other. And if there's something that came out that one person was hiding, or if you just feel like you can't trust the person, you have to get past the trust and fear issues for things to be better. On the bright side, this is a very good month for you to reach out, make new friends. It's also a great time for presentations if you need to share some sort of a new idea, a plan, a product, or service. This is a card I've been seeing a lot this month. So I believe that it's not just for you, but a lot of signs are experiencing this positivity in networking. So, you know, there's a couple people in your life that are driving you crazy. although that's not the greatest thing, you can actually redirect your energy and get out there and meet some new people. I do want you to be very careful with the sort of boundaries that you're putting up with your friends and family. I think you need to be very clear on how much you're willing to give. It does feel like there's going to be a lot of people leaning on you. So whether it's actual family or quote unquote extended family, which can include just really close friends or people that feel like family, just know that it's okay to occasionally say no. And what would be really good this month for you is to do some decluttering around your house and stretching. And the other thing here that I'm getting is if you have time to take a break. I know a lot of people here in North America, around the end of the month, it's a good time for vacation. This card is absolutely supporting that. But even without that, I want you to try to do some mini trips or some small breaks even throughout the day. I'm feeling that the energy overall is a little bit claustrophobic for you this month. So do what you can to create a sense of space, of freedom, of liberation, of vacation. All of those things are good. You want to be very careful with your written communication this month. The other thing that came through when I was meditating was to watch all of your writing to make sure that you're using words that are going to be understood well by the recipient, and that the tone, more importantly, is going to be not sort of too strict or too loose. So this is a very good time for you to have someone else proofread. So be very careful of not coming off too critically, basically. All right, let's expand your forecast now. We'll take a look at your health card this month. You do need to make some changes with health, and that really is in order with the channeled information. So think of repair and restore, and even though this is showing big changes, this could just be as simple as deciding to start a new workout routine. Maybe if you wanted to always go for a 5K and you're going to start training, but it does mean make some major changes and have this month be a month where you research and you try some different things out. It shouldn't be something you've done before. So I want you to change up your exercise routine. For those of you that are feeling like you can't quite get it under control, this is also a time when you want to ask for help. Maybe it's a trainer or a doctor that you need to pull into your life. All right, let's take a look at your wealth. For your wealth, it's about making sure that you're not overextending. Now, one thing that I noticed in the ego position that I didn't have a chance to mention just yet, but it files in nicely with this wealth card is, yes, this month is foundational, but it also is a month where you might be holding on to, if you're trying to negotiate for a new job, feeling like you're not going to get it, or fear of the past, fear of past failures. I want you to let go of some of those. I also want you to feel that you are worth getting what you need in your life. This is a self-worth card, something that you can work on not only in negotiations, but just in present relationships and work situations. Overall, I think you need to be trying to save more than spend this month. And if possible, it feels like your present work situation or your present financial situation is adequate, but not more than adequate. And I want everyone to be more than adequate, so you have comfort and you have a little bit of padding. So it might be a time to look for a new job or to see if someone else in the family can get in line for a promotion or find some part-time work. Or maybe there's something that you can divest, an old investment that's not working, or decide to downsize a little bit, because it seems like it's a little too close to the bottom line. You don't have a lot of extra wiggle room, and I want you to have breathing room. All right, we looked at health, we looked at wealth. Let's take a look at love. This is a great month for starting new relationships. Although we talked about letting go of past sort of estranged relationships, this is great for business. If you wanted to start a new company, if you wanted to work together or partner together with somebody new for a business venture, this card is very positive for those two things. It's also saying that don't be afraid to go out on a limb and ask someone out. And if you're in a relationship, don't be afraid to instigate and ask for something that you want. This is a month where the more you speak, the more the universe can kind of respond. But if you're quiet, it doesn't know what you need. All right, let's look at your trajectory, your destiny card. And what's tricky right now, and I think this is where the course correction can happen, is feels like there's either a sense of unhappiness in your present situation with relationships, especially with Three of Swords and the Devil, or there's a sense of longing and desire perhaps in what you're doing for a living, because those same two cards can be about passion and connection to your purpose or how you make money. So if you're feeling good in relationships but you're feeling uninspired elsewhere in your life, think about how you could simply put in something that makes you happy, brings you more joy. Ideally, that should also be your job. So those are the two areas that you can focus on. Just to quickly review what we talked about, your channeled information really is about focusing on mending and rebuilding or creating something better than what was, not holding on to the past. So if there's anybody that you feel this sense of anger or frustration over, realize that you're holding on. And if you let go of that energy, then you can put it in more productive areas. So at the very least, think of it as a way to recharge yourself. And at the same time, you're actually healing yourself and the other person by letting go. And this Catalyst card was speaking to the same thing. Just balance it out. Think, is this worth my time and energy? Now, this is also talking about present relationships. I do see the need to be very truthful with partners. Some of you may discover that there was a secret going on and you need to kind of talk about that, or a fear. So just be very honest, have a heart-to-heart with your partners this month. Make sure you're spending some time with them as well. Don't be afraid to go out on a limb and ask them for a date night if you're with someone. And if you're dating someone new, ask some questions before you get too deep into the relationship. Your overall energy is very supportive of speaking up, of even litigation or presentations this month. Really, really positive for you. You need to stretch a little bit more. You need to have some vacations and take care of yourself. Space from work is very important, a little bit of time away. Focus on your communication and make sure that it's very clear. Have someone else check it. And overall, I want you to really look at your financial area and think, what can you do to either improve or do better with what you have? And just to review your health card, it's a month to make some good changes, some big changes. It's very much supported. We just talked about wealth. I need you to have a little bit more than adequate, so there's opportunities for improvement there. Speak up when it comes to relationships, ask for what you need, and overall, find places that are going to create more joy in your life. That's going to bring you to a place where not only is your energy going to be a higher frequency, but you're also going to call in people that recognize this sort of happier self, this sense of equilibrium that you have, and that's going to bring more prosperity into your life as well. So that brings our November reading to a close. Just a quick schedule note in case you wanted to either schedule a reading with me or you notice that there's a shift in my publishing for December. Both are going to happen, by the way. I'm going to take time off this December just to work on personal projects and take a vacation. So if you want to book time with me, you should do it either this month in November or in January. And my readings in December for YouTube, I'm just going to do one reading for everybody, and I'll probably do something similar in January or do very small truncated readings just because I need a break, and that'll give me a chance to recharge as well. I know you guys will support that. Additionally, if you just like to stay in touch, a great way to do so is to subscribe to this channel. Just remember there are two buttons. There's one that says subscribe, and there's also a bell icon. The bell icon will allow you to receive email notifications when I post new things. If you go to the notification area right beneath the main video, there's a bunch of links there, and let me just go through what those are. One is to subscribe to my newsletter, which will do almost the same thing as that bell icon. And then you can also join me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And if you found that this channel was really helpful and you just want to give back, then there's a donation link. You can do that either through my website or through Patreon. So with all of that being said, I always like to end with a note of gratitude. And I really do appreciate not just the likes and subscribes here, but the fact that you guys come back each month to work on yourselves, to really try to create a better sense of self, to also expand your metaphysical knowledge and your spiritual strength. So keep doing that. And if I've been any small part of that growth in your life, then that's really all the thanks I need. But thank you so much for coming here. I wish you much abundance and love this month. I'll see you again in December for one video, and take care of yourselves in the meantime. Bye-bye.